Scoring right before the end of the first half, and they got the stop. And so far, it seems like we're pretty even. If it weren't for the 3 disastrous turnovers that have really changed the game.
These turnovers have been plaguing Akron. The Zips have been able to move the ball. They've been running it when they want to, like the coach Moorhead said he wants to do. They can do a little bit better with the pass. Their O-line needs to stand up a little bit better in the front. But these turnovers are just plaguing them. And if they can stop turning the ball over, this game is going to get a lot closer than it is right now.
Right. Time of possessions, similar. Time of possession, first downs. Akron actually has more with 13 to BG's 11. And normally you go 5 of 8 on third down. You feel like you're in good shape. But the turnovers have been deadly. However, good news is you get the football back and a chance to make it a one-possession game.
Like Akron's punting the ball only one time. So that tells you is either they're getting touchdowns or they're turning it over.
The kickoff is fielded inside their own 10 and now brought out past the 30 and into the 43-yard line. A nice return by the Zips. Well done by Blake Hester, the sophomore out of Ashland, Kentucky.
They set up, the Zips set up a wall on the right side and allow Hester to get on the edge. And this is exactly what they need to start off the pace for this second half. Just make sure they take care of the ball. If they take care of the ball, continue to run the way they've been running it. This is going to be a whole different second half if they can take care of it.
DJ Irons, you saw him take that hit on the Hail Mary attempt right before the end of the first half, 12 of 19. Only 86 yards passing. However, on the ground, he's been really good. 11 carries, 61 yards, averaging 5.5 a carry. Hadn't run it much so far this year, but today it's been a weapon for him.
Coach Moorhead said that it's going to be more of a weapon for them. They're going to use it, and they actually use it for one of their touchdowns. They faked a run for a touchdown. So this is something that they're going to continue to add to their game plan.
Irons looking for his man. Dangerous throw. Deshaun Jones was there to break it up. And that sets up a third down already for that Zip offense.
Jones actually misplays this ball. He does a good job on defense, but Irons throws the ball behind Alex, and it doesn't allow him to be able to make the catch.
Irons takes a hit on that throw, but this time it is caught. A big first down. Shockey Jock Louis all the way down to the 45-yard line of the Falcons. Big connection for the Zips.
The Falcons do a stunt play right here, and it causes DJ Irons to have pressure right in his face, but he stands into the pocket.
Inside handoff, Clyde Price, but a flag is thrown onto the field late.
Flag on the play.
This is in the holding territory once again.
Holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Nate Williams with the holding call. Holding calls kill drives. A holding call is almost like a sack. First and 20 is really difficult to get. So right here, they're going to have to be able to run the ball well or just get at least 12 to 15 yards just to have an opportunity to keep this drive rolling.
Irons, the throw down the field. Alex Adams off his hands, and he could have kept running.
DJ Irons does exactly what he has to do right here. He sits in the pocket. The Falcons send a blitz. He gets hit right in the face and puts the ball where only receiver can get it. He could have still be running right now if he caught that ball. You couldn't ask anything better from DJ Irons. Mr. Adams is going to want that one back because that one hurts. It was in his hands. That was going to be a first down, possibly a touchdown. And now they're fighting second and 20.
Down at Liberty, Adams had 5 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. has yet to make a catch so far today. The handoff inside Price there on second down to get some of it back to make third down a bit more manageable with 3rd and 13.
3rd and 13, that is a defense's dream. Because you get the coach, if they want to, they can be aggressive or they can just sit back and play the sticks. Right here, it seems like the coaches are going to be sending the blitz. They have all the guys up to the line of scrimmage right now, and it's like it's going to be a cover 3 style blitz.
3rd and 13. Irons had time to throw on the left side, has his man, but it is incomplete. A little late. That ball hung up there forever, so Daniel George could not bring it down.
The Falcons defense, they disguised the blitz, so it looked like it was going to be a very fire zone type of blitz. A fire zone is a blitz with the coverage in the back end of it. They escape everybody out, bail everybody out. It was a cover 3 style defense. This was still a great throw by Irons, but it just wasn't where it needed to be. And now the Falcons offense has the opportunity to gain this ball back.
So Zips will punt it back. The Falcons will get a chance with it. This ball is going to bounce at the 2 and then into the end zone. So the Bowling Green Falcons get the stop. They'll have it when we return right here on ESPN.
If you want to ace your paper, download Grammarly. Grammarly helps you clean up messy, confusing sentences to get your point across clearly. Whoa. Good looks. Future me? No problem. Thank you. Thank you. What? Grammarly checks against billions of sites and catches any accidental plagiarism. Looks good to me. Submit it. By the way, you end up getting an A+.
If you know, you know.
Crispy corners, sauce on top.
If you know, you know.
Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut, just $12.99. You are trouble. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Another busy day? Of course it is. You're a CIO in 2022. But you're covered with security that protects your company everywhere. On-premise, in the cloud, and right here too. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Seriously? Now there's a hole in your defense. Look at the size of that gap. Is that a goat?
You talking about me?
I think this goat is saying gap.
You must be talking about the expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
So who's talking about the money Aflac pays to help close that gap?
Aflac, gap, Aflac, gap.
It's about to go down, baby.
Aflac.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Aflac
is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
MAC teams entering conference play today around the conference. Boy, Kent State with a pretty good effort a week ago at number 1 Georgia, but they are down at half to the Bobcats 10-7. That is a good one. Northern Illinois and Ball State in an absolute shootout in Muncie. Miami trailing Buffalo by 4 at halftime. Miami had a big win against a Big Ten foe so far this year, so always fun to see how things start to shake out once you get into conference play. And the Falcons with a big gaping hole to start things out. Their first carry of the first half. A nice run by Jamal Johnson.
Bowling Green, we see this split zone action right here. He makes a guy miss in the middle of the hole, and Jamal Johnson gets a nice 20-yard gain.
We've seen a lot of Jason Patterson so far today, but Johnson with a nice carry there as he's trying to work his way and get healthier as the season progresses. This play It gets them out all the way close to the 46-yard line.
Down pass lead to Sims.
And Sims has another one, had the touchdown play right before the end of the first half.
So the play before, we seen the split zone. This is the split zone action, what it gives you. When you actually do the play action off of it, it puts the tight end in motion and somebody that's an easy target for the quarterback to throw to when that action happens.
Empty backfield out of the gun. Hilaire catches that, tries to fight for more yardage before he's finally brought down. Zips trying to strip that football.
Zips are trying to create a turnover themselves in this situation because the defense understands they need to get the ball back to their offense so they can put points on the board.
Darian Lewis, among others on the play, played his high school football right down the road at both football and basketball powerhouse, Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. Third and a few out of the gun. This time the keeper, McDonald, forges his way into Zip territory for another first down.
They pull an Akron on Akron right there. They do the read option play. DJ Irons in Akron's offense been doing this pretty much all game. And McDonald can still run, and they like to establish it here and there, but they only use it when it's needed, and that's what they did right there.
Patterson now in the backfield with McDonald. And he'll get the football with room to run on the right side. Takes a hit and falls forward past the 40 near another first down.
Jamal Johnson is a hot hand on this series. The Falcons, they pulled two of the linemen, number 77 and 88, Sims, and number 77, Grant, put them in front of Mr. Johnson and allows them to have a nice game. A nice 9-yard game.
It looks like we get a pause in the action right now. The Falcons starting to feel better and better offensively. Able to force some turnovers early, giving them some short fields, and they have taken advantage. And stick with us. Bowling Green with it and on the move.
Today's assignment, share one smoked sausage.
You do you.
You're a CIO in 2022. So what's on the agenda? Threat briefings, IT meetings, and lots of coffee. With fully integrated security solutions all in one place. You're ready. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
I'm the captain of the Pee Wee football team. We are
Mighty!
annoying. Go. Thanks, Mom. And if you have cut rate car insurance, then not even a Hail Mary will save you from paying for this. So get Allstate.
It has always started with the call to serve, fighting and winning for our nation. But Marines are never really finished. They serve in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis. Always faithful. Always Marine.
Get more MPGs with Honda. Honda is the most fuel-efficient automaker in America. That means you save at the pump with up to 40 miles per gallon. Search your local Honda dealer today.
At Olive Garden, sauce is the soul. It's what takes you on a tour of Italy. That's why we make our sauces from scratch every day.
Quiet.
I'm on the tone when I told Pretty Tony, listen to my tone, you ain't catching you a Tony. I walk when they walk, when you running with a shotty. Why you running from us? Why you messing with us? Maybe polar. You ain't ready, roll up. Pull up machete, cut the bamboo paper. Let's roll out, baby, loud. Frankie.
All right, welcome back. Just had an injury stoppage. Nate Thompson, the injured Zip, looked like he was taken to the locker room. And he's been pretty big so far this year for that Akron secondary.
Yeah, coming into this game, he had 24 tackles. He has 5 tackles so far in this game already. You definitely don't want to lose a piece in the back half of your defense that's that valuable.
2nd down and 1, but early movement by the Falcons.
Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
C.J. Lewis was very eager to get out there. We had barely come back from break, and he was already waltzing down the field.
I've never seen a receiver that eager to block because he was definitely going to block somebody. Most of them are they're more eager when they know it's a pass play.
So back to the gun now. 2nd and 6. McDonald, that ball is tipped and looked like it was picked off.
I guess you did jinx him earlier today. That was a nice play by KJ Martin. The Falcons do a read option, not a read option. They do an RPO play right here, and the ball is on C.J. Lewis's hands. It's in his pocket. He has multiple attempts of trying to catch this ball. He drops it twice, and with him dropping it, tip balls and overthrows are a defense's best friend. Tip balls and overthrows, and right there, that was a tip ball. When you're in zone coverage, there was in zone coverage. Mr. Martin comes in, takes advantage of that tip ball, and this is exactly what Akron needed. And unfortunately, Bowling Green McDonald had his first interception of the season.
Jalen Kelly Powell was on the coverage. This the keeper, and it looks like Irons applying the stiff arm before finally getting driven out of bounds.
Down by Jones.
Yeah, we talked so much into this game about McDonald had not made the big mistakes so far this year. Now, I don't know if I get credit for the jinx. That was way back in the 2nd quarter that was brought up. I do not think the jinx applies. More movement could be a free play for Irons, who throws it down the field incomplete and also took yet another hit. Deshaun Jones ended up
offside. Defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Blaine Spires, it's all getting a little sloppy out here on what is a critical possession. I mean, you think of the turnaround. The Falcons had a chance in zip territory, put more points on the board, already up 2 scores. Instead, now Akron has a chance to cut it to 1 score.
And whenever you get a turnover, that adds momentum to the team. So the Akron haven't had that momentum since the beginning of the game, and now they have the opportunity.
Irons throws it out of the backfield to Price, and he gets out to midfield for a first down and then some.
Price has been having a good day for this Akron offense. He's been the spark for this offense other than DJ Irons.
Well, we talked so much about the receivers, but instead it's been Price.
Coach Moorhead understands who's the hot hand, and he's leaning on it. And I don't blame him. If he has 2 touchdowns on the day, he's providing a spark for you. Just continue to allow him to be that guy.
All right, looked like the backup nose tackle, Billy Roberts, was helped off the field for the Falcons, which is why we had another stoppage. Things getting a little clunky in the 3rd quarter. They had receivers bunched to the left, and instead Irons will keep it. He held it very long and may have got 2.
That was another RPO situation. He faked it to his running back, Mr. Price. Price wasn't available. Then he looked to see if there was somebody available at the receiver position. They were covered as well. So all Irons could do right here is run the ball up the middle.
Tight end Tristan Brank is on the field on the left side. Irons looking right. Now under fire, completes for positive yards. Alex Adams holds on to this one.
There was so much pressure in DJ Irons' face right here. He has number 6, Mr. Brand, and he had Carl Brooks in his face, causing pressure, just delivers a nice pass and still give them a manageable down the distance.
3rd and 4. from the gun. Empty backfield. And they fake the swing pass, and instead, Irons goes up the middle for the first down.
Coming into this game, we were expecting to see an air attack from both of these teams. And Coach Moorhead said, hey, we're going to see a little bit more running from DJ Irons, but he's definitely put it on display today.
Out to the 36 now. With some optimism on this drive for that Zip offense. Irons will now step up. He'll look to throw. He has his man, Alex Adams. Caught. Touchdown. 36-yard strike for the Zips.
Number 7, Alex Adams.
Oh, my gosh. That is exactly what Akron needed. First, they get the turnover, the tip ball, the overthrow. It allows them the ball in great field position. But the play right here that we see is DJ Irons step up into the pocket. Bowling Green sends the blitz. He steps into the pocket, avoids the pressure, and Mr. Adams, he dropped one last week, earlier today. He comes back and say, hey, I'm sorry, Mr. Irons. Here's the touchdown.
The Zips offense showing signs of life and a chance to cut it to 3. They do just that. We got a bowl game here in Akron. The Falcons clinging to a 3-point lead, and they'll have it next on ESPN.
Really? Really? Free testing and charging?
And if you need a new one, we've got you.
Really? Welcome to America's #1 battery destination. AutoZone, your battery solution.
Treat yourself to rich Ghirardelli chocolate and luscious caramel. Ghirardelli Caramel Squares. Makes life a bite better.
Another busy day? Of course it is. You're a CIO in 2022. But you're covered with security that protects your company everywhere, on-premise, in the cloud, and right here too. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Grammarly adds confidence so you don't undermine your message. And offers rewrites so your ideas come through clearly. Try Grammarly today at Grammarly.com.
Dude, this thing is awesome. I know. I bought it using the Cash Rewards card from Navy Federal Credit Union. I get cash back on every purchase. Honestly, I can't imagine where I'd be without them. One word. Got it. Reeling in fish. No. Eating fish. Fish in the sea? Movie.
Now earn up to 1.75% cash back on all purchases. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
It's been 4 years since Michael Myers killed my daughter. He vanished without a trace.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you? 'Cause he is coming.
Maybe the only way he can die is if I die too. It's your last Halloween, Michael.
Halloween ends. Rated R.
At Olive Garden, sauce is the soul. It's what takes you on a tour of Italy. That's why we make our sauces from scratch every day.
Since when do you drink tap? Since I found out. Ugh, gross. I know.
Things turn quick here at Akron, where Bowling Green was maybe driving for another score. Instead, the turnover. And then Akron goes 7 plays, 67 yards in under 2.5 minutes. Impressive job by that Akron offense.
Yeah, and led by DJ Irons. DJ Irons on this drive accounted for all 67 yards of this drive. He dumped a pass off to Price. Then he had a few runs. Then he had a few passes, and then finished it off with this pass to Adams for the touchdown, which Adams repaid him for the job earlier. This is a game, and this is MAC football for you.
Right now, Irons, 147 yards through the air, 71 on the ground. And right now, he's gotten the better of this quarterback matchup, but still down 3 as the Falcons get that ball out to the 26-yard line. And that is where QB Matt McDonald will start the drive, throwing his first INT of the season. He had been perfect so far this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, Anthony jinxed him, so.
I can see those tweets coming in. And here's that pick. Well, it was off his receiver's hand.
It's not his fault.
Not his fault. C.J. Lewis certainly could have had it, maybe anticipating the hit, but instead it catapulted Akron into making this a game.
And football is a game of momentum. And you just have to make sure that you take advantage of the momentum that you have when you have it. And Bowling Green has had opportunities where they had a momentum, but they haven't scored as much. And now Akron's got the momentum on this turnover and scored right away. So let's see how Bowling Green can come back and capitalize off of this situation.
2nd and 7, all sorts of movement, both sides pointing to each other. And now the flag comes in. The referee had to be coerced into throwing one.
That's my first time ever seeing a ref getting convinced into throwing the flag.
The ref was like, just go, just play.
False start, offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's one of the first times I ever played in seeing football where the defender was like, hey, he caused a penalty, and the ref was like, all right, yeah, you're right.
Alex Wolschlager costs him another 5 yards. This ball poorly thrown. McDonald on the run off the wrong foot. That's interesting. You bring up momentum, Ryan. You played at as high a level as you can play in this sport. Analytics guys will tell you time and time again they don't believe in momentum.
Yeah, they cannot believe in momentum. I definitely believed in it. I've definitely seen times where the Ohio State team that I played on, the Steelers teams that I played on, we made a defensive stop, and A.B., Le'Veon, Big Ben, Braxton Miller make a huge play right after that because they got the juice off of us.
Loudest this place has been. McDonald on 3rd down. Finds his man, Andrew Bench, down the middle for the first down. And he is still running. Have they blown it dead? Finally, they do. A huge conversion.
And that's why they don't believe in momentum. This is a beautiful throw by McDonald. He throws it on the wire and to his tight end Bench, who is down. He's down. Oh, I was about to say, he doesn't look like he was down to me, but yeah, I was very close.
Technically, they could maybe go forward progress stop, but the knee was down. Good catch.
Yeah.
But it's why you never stop, because you never know when the officials are going to blow that whistle. Sigh of relief, though, for Leffler and the Falcons. McDonald, that ball thrown low, but complete. And Kavon Kroom is able to make the grab.
That was a difficult catch. That was a good catch by Kavon Kroom.
Jalen Embry now makes his way back onto the field. Teron Keith goes to the sidelines. 2nd and 7 from their own 44. Inching closer to the 5-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. McDonald from the gun. He'll throw. Top side. It is incomplete. Bobbled. And Tyrone Broden can't make the grab. Setting up another big 3rd down.
For both teams, these are the plays that the receivers have to make. If the ball is hitting your hands, you have to make this catch, because when you drop those catches, now it puts you in a 3rd and 8 situation, and the defense, when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, they always feel like they can eat, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a blitz on this play.
Embry and Hilaire on the left side. McDonald stays on his feet, calmly throws, and it's caught by, it looks like Broden, who steps out of bounds past that first down marker. So 2 hefty third down conversions.
The Zips sent a blitz, but Matt steps up into the pocket, avoids the blitz, and just picks a wonderful pass on the sideline to allow them to get this first down. Matt McDonald.
Yeah, these are some big plays because the Akron defense had these fans in a frenzy as they were smelling another stop. Instead, the Falcons with a first down. And that carry gets out to about the 40-yard line. Patterson has that Falcon offense in business.
Falcons get into a big personnel. They have 2 tight ends out there, then motion one of the receivers on the edge to also help when it comes to blocking. And the front does a good job of setting the edge, allowing Patterson just to follow the wave of Falcons in front of him and get another first down. They're in another big personnel, 2 tight ends and a fullback.
Handoff to the deep back. Jamal Johnson is upended, not much there.
Wrapped up by Tim Terry. Gain of 1 yard. Second down, 9.
That split zone is a very, very difficult formation and play call for linebackers to read because you have multiple things happening in front of you that can cause you to go in the roll hold. The Zips linebackers do a good job of being very patient, understanding where they have to be, and stopping this first run.
Play action bootleg, now throwing back the other way. It's caught by Johnson. Slipped the first tackle before he's brought down at the 31.
The Falcons try to be a little slick right here and have a throwback, but the Zips were prepared. They were ready for this play. They did this split zone action and then set the tight end back for a max pro set because they was trying to sneak a guy back. And one thing that the Zips did a good job of was just making sure they stayed with their guys.
We'll see how aggressive on 3rd and 2. That is a handoff. The Zips are ready for it, and they bottle him up. Patterson brought down, may have lost a yard.
Wrapped up by Tim Terry.
Bowling Green has been doing a good job of running the ball downhill. And unfortunately on this play, they decide to run the ball on the edge. And whenever they've been running on the edge versus Akron today, they have been setting the edge. And setting the edge is not allowing the guys to beat you to the sideline. And right now, that's why we have another 4th and 3 situation because they want to run it on the side.
No field goal attempt here. Mason Lawler, their kicker, his career high is 48. McDonald launches one. Incomplete over his receiver's head. And Broden, his arm's not long enough to corral that one. A huge stop for the Zip defense. They couldn't get one on the other end, and here they make it happen.
Instead of just trying to get the first down, Bowling Green goes for the touchdown. And Akron was waiting and was prepared and was in a man defense. And we talked about momentum earlier in this game, and that's something that just can continue to add a little bit more momentum, a little bit more juice, a little bit more sauce to their offense. And let's see if it can just help them out here.
It would have been a 49-yard field goal. You got the sense this week that Loeffler was going to be aggressive if given the opportunity. So instead they go for it. He's surprised that they went for it all in that situation as they were able to make some conversions.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they went for it all because I understand that they got stuffed on the last run, but the prior runs, they were able to run it downhill, down the middle of the defense, and they're just getting a little bit aggressive and trying to throw shots and get on the edge of the defense, which caused them to not make the play.
Irons sidesteps the defender, now moves up. He's out to the 40, a few yards short of that first down, but again, using those legs, which have served him well so far in this one.
DJ Iron legs have been saving this Zips team. because if you look at his O-line, they're starting to, it's so much pressure that's happening to DJ Irons, so he has to use his legs. His O-line has to do a better job of setting up a pocket for him, but he's figuring out a way to get away from all this pressure and just give his team consistent opportunities.
He's got 4 receivers, 3 set out to the left. And now Price back alongside him with Banks in motion. Now bunched up. The handoff is going absolutely nowhere on 3rd down. That play is stuffed.
There was a good job by Anthony Hawkins and Anders being able to push the pile back. You see Hawkins get in the way and doesn't allow Price to be able to run what he wants to run. And Anders, their old reliable senior, just steps up, makes the tackle like he's done his whole career, having over 20 tackles on the season already.
Punt is up in the air, angled inside the 3. Another time where a returner drops the ball going backwards, but he's able to pick it back up. Fortunately, Embry was able not to make the huge mistake that you saw on that same end earlier in the ball game.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, returning punts going backwards is so much harder to be able to control where the ball is, understand where the ball is. Your pads, your body is all going in the opposite direction of where the ball is coming, and that's why he was able to muff the punt again. Luckily for Bowling Green, he was able to actually recover it. Unfortunately, the opposite happened for Akron.
Boy, very fortunate there. So Bowling Green after the stop, under center, McDonald with time to throw. And that ball is caught over the middle near the 20-yard line. So an 8-yard pickup. Broden is there to end the quarter, the final play of the 3rd. And that means we have 15 minutes to go in a 3-point ball game. You don't want to go anywhere. It's been lively. We've had huge special teams plays. We'll see what we have left as both teams beginning their action today on this beautiful fall Saturday.
Dish and Sling customers, ESPN is no longer available on your TV lineup. Don't miss out on college football, Monday Night Football, MLB, SportsCenter, and more. Go to keepmyespn.com for more information.
Need a backup plan? Get Plan B one step. Plan B helps prevent pregnancy before it starts by temporarily delaying ovulation. And you can resume your regular birth control right away. I've got this.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate. To put the world on pause. Lindor Almond Butter, made to melt you. By the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
So if you're happy and you know it, throw your hands up and show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And if you love the life you're living, go ahead and dive right in and shake it like you mean it. Do a little dance. Show me what you got. Oh, 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 oh. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Find your happiness in San Diego.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
We need a clutch hit. Derek Jeter.
Hang in there, rookie.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
You're a CIO in 2022. So what's on the agenda? Threat briefings, IT meetings, and lots of coffee. With fully integrated security solutions all in one place. You're ready. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ion. Electrified. Hanguk tire.
Wait! Did you download Grammarly? If you want to ace this paper, then don't press submit. Grammarly helps you clean up your messy, confusing sentences to get your point across clearly. Sorry I'm late. Did you know that Grammarly checks against billions of sites and catches any accidental plagiarism? Looks like an A+ to me. Looks like we got to the CEO position.
Our final quarter today between Bowling Green and Akron. 2nd down and 2. Big handoff. And a 1st down as Jamal Johnson. That's been as easy as it gets for Johnson so far today.
They haven't had much like that. That was one of those plays where it was another split zone type of play, trying to just get the linebackers a little bit out of position, a little bit out of the hole, so you can have a nice run, and that's exactly what happened right there.
He's averaging 4 yards a carry. McDonald, they're breathing all over him. He fires it at the last second, and somehow he gets a completion out of that. Christian Sims, one of his favorite targets.
That was a very risky pass, but Matt does a good job of stepping up.
Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
Jalen Grant did not see the flag. And that is a biggie.
Man, that was a good play by McDonald. Stepped into the pocket, avoided the pressure, was getting sacked, threw out of the sack. But one thing that your O-lineman can't do is hold. And that brought them back now. It's 1st and 20. And that's a drop killer.
We'll see if the Falcons can make some of that up now. 1st down, all alone in the backfield. McDonald from the gun. That slant is complete to Hilaire, and he is on the move. Past midfield, caught a block, down to the 30 before he is leveled out of bounds. But a huge completion. One of the biggest plays of the game so far.
Odu Hilaire. Slant play. This is a play that has so much momentum going on it. You get him on the run. The linebacker misses the tackle and allows Hilaire just to use his speed. Get some nice blocks down the field, and then gets hit by Durant. But now they have the ball exactly where they need it and gives the Falcons right into scoring position.
Well, that certainly flips the field, and now they go to the running game. A nice, healthy pickup on 1st down.
That's one of the benefits of getting your playmakers involved early. A slant play is one of the most simple plays in football, and right here, it just allowed them to be able to get a 60-yard gain and put them in position to score again.
2nd down, 6 now. McDonald under center. Handoff to the right side. And Jason Patterson took the hit, fell forward, inching closer to that 1st down.
Watch on here, you see that Bowling Green does a counter play. So now they're pulling their tight end and they're pulling one of their big old linemen to be able to get in front of these linebackers so Patterson has someone to run. Unfortunately, they didn't get as much as they would like, but they still were able to get a good manageable down the distance.
Hilaire in the slot. And now into the end zone, a perfect throw and an easy catch. The Falcons score. And it again is Odu Hilaire. 2 big plays on the drive.
Akron was in a man type of defense. It almost looked like it was in zero. Zero means all the corners, everybody that's playing man to coverage, they don't have anybody that's helping them in the back end. And Hilaire just stacks his cornerback, shakes him with an inside route, and then pulls out and hits him with a corner. And it was just a beautiful pitch and catch between Hilaire and his quarterback, McDonald.
Earlier on the drive, had the 59-yard catch to get him in business. A few plays later, the touchdown. So a huge drive by the Falcons. And that extra point puts them up by 10 once again. Don't go anywhere. We'll see if the Zips have another response in them when we return.
We decided it's time to put a different kind of power tool in your hands. Store Mode in the Home Depot app gives you in-store tools made to help you get more done. To guide you every step of the way and explore products quickly with the scan. That way you get the top brands at the best prices without missing a beat. It's made for doing. Download the Home Depot app and see how doers get more done.
Welcome to Quick Trip.
Need some roller therapy?
Need a minute? Need your wallet? Need a push? Happens all the time.
If you need it, we have it. QT, more than a gas station.
This time, it will be different. This time, maybe the only way he can die is if I die too.
Halloween ends. Rated R.
Any job at Amazon can turn into a higher-paying career. For employees looking for security today, we offer good pay, health care on day one, and the flexibility to spend time with your family while making a living. For opportunity tomorrow, free technical training moves employees into higher-paying jobs in fields like software engineering and robotics.
My salary from day one has increased probably around 3 to 4 times.
At Amazon, today is just the start, and tomorrow is what you make of it.
Sunday Night Baseball, Sundays at 7 on ESPN.
Who's that? 18?
All right, welcome back. Impressive drive by Bowling Green. 7 plays, 88 yards. That huge slant play to Hilaire, and then he capped it off with the touchdown. Yeah, this drive was just called the Hilaire drive. You could call it the Hilaire scoring drive because he had the slant, got him out of a 2nd and 20 situation, and then they do a corner route, a post corner route when the Zips was in a man-to-man coverage, and unfortunately he couldn't guard him anymore. So that was just a wonderful drive by Bowling Green. Well, the Zips, they've showed some fight. They had a nice response on their last drive, and now they'll need another one with 12-12 to go here in the fourth quarter. Now, on the previous drive, I did say that I thought DJ Irons had outplayed Matt McDonald. What do you make so far of the quarterbacks that we've seen today? I just feel like it's just a back and forth battle. DJ Irons, where he's adding his fuel to the fire, is he has a lot with his legs, but he's also getting some nice throws in here and there. While McDonald, he's playing really well, but he just finished off that last drive. So DJ Irons, his last 2 quarters going into this one, I feel like have been his best quarters, 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. Well, he's been getting stronger as the game goes on. Now they're the draw, and he has tackled forward. So a nice pickup on first down. We'll see if there's a level of urgency yet. Still plenty of time, obviously, in the game, but they feel that they really need to get a score on this possession. They have to score on this possession just to establish that they're still here in this game and that they still have an opportunity. And this time, the handoff Price gets out near the 40.
Gains to the 40-yard line, and an Akron.
So the Zips able to start out with a pair of runs to get the first down. That puts Price over 55 yards on the game. Irons is nearly brought down, and he finally is. Boy, he wanted to stay up as long as possible, but just too many Falcons defenders there to make the play, including their stud senior Darren Anders, who's been all over the field today.
The Falcons been able to get pressures on Irons all night, but this time they was able to wrap him up, and this, like you said, Anders was able to get the sack. The Falcons have been putting pressure on DJ Irons all night. It's just as if he's able to sneak out of it or not, and he wasn't able to that time.
Cassius Howell there as well, so now pinned back 2nd and 19. Irons was going to pick it up and run. Instead, picks up exactly what the defense was willing to give him. TJ Banks moved him ahead to the 40, and so now you got 3rd and 10. They picked up 9 on the play.
This is a critical situation. Bowling Green is in a man-style defense right here. I don't know if they're going to back out a little bit or they end up getting in the zone.
Irons to Alex Adams again. He hangs onto it, and he has the Akron Zip first down as he signals forward. That's a biggie for this Zip offense.
That was a huge play for this Ziggy offense. He steps to the pocket, throws the ball over the linebacker, and sits right into the zone. That was a nice run play by Alex and also a pass by DJ Irons.
And they keep it on the ground now. Price goes forward, and he may have gotten the first down on his own.
Price has been a hot hand coming into this game. Obviously Wiley is normally their starting running back, but with Price having such a great game, he's been a spark of this offense and just running the ball the way he's been running it. He's got to continue moving forward with him.
Already to the 21, that pitch. Not much going on there, and they may have gotten a hold on Shockey Jock Louis. Will wait for the call, but he had his receivers out there trying to block.
Holding, offense number 18, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
Well, you never want to get a hold on the offensive lineman, but when it's on the wide receivers in a screen situation, you feel like you might have blown it with the play call. So that one's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I know receivers that I was friends with, and they told me they don't pay me to block. And I know DBs that told me they don't pay me to tackle. Well, unfortunately, it's part of the game. You have to block, you have to tackle. And right here, he tried to get a little bit too grabby, and they have a first in a very long situation. And this is not what Akron needed to get back and just show that they're still trying to compete.
Now, they had a big negative play to start this drive with the sack, but they were able to come back from it. But here they are not able to get much. Price had not much room to operate, and so 2nd and forever here as we approach the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
So the first play of pretty much every first down, Akron's been running the ball. They need to add a little bit of mix of running play action to throw the defense off a bit.
They snap it from the 45. Irons will take off. Has some area in the middle before he is absolutely dropped. A huge hit. That Falcon defense making sure to limit the damage.
DJ Irons, he's looking downfield. He's ready to run. But he was shaking, but he was not ready for Mr. Bacon. Bacon was sizzling right there, and he made sure that that DJ Irons could smell him right there.
Well, you got a lot in there. That was impressive. Irons, 3rd and 16. He steps up, has time, has his receiver. Adams at the goal line. Touchdown.
Oh, my gosh. This is back football. This is crazy, man. Right here, we see both drives, there was a holding call that set the offense back, which causes them both to force them to pass the ball. And DJ Irons and Matt McDonald both step up. They run a switch concept here, which allows Adams to be able to get open and behind the defense, and DJ Irons was able to step up and find him.
Just an incredible play, taking advantage of the coverage situation, and the Zips not going anywhere. This lead is cut to 3, and Bowling Green will have it after the big Akron touchdown. Stick with us.
Front yards have long reigned as the showpiece of the house. But just like a good mullet, we all know the party's in the back. Barbecue Guys is committed to helping create amazing backyard experiences. With the best grills in the game, outdoor essentials, and free design services for building your ultimate backyard. It's time to bring the front yard's reign to an end.
All right, boys, let's eat.
Stop on by barbecueguys.com.
If you want to ace your paper, download Grammarly. Grammarly helps you clean up messy, confusing sentences to get your point across clearly. Whoa, good looks. Future me? No problem. Thank you. Thank you. What? Grammarly checks against billions of sites and catches any accidental plagiarism. Looks good to me. Submit it. By the way, you end up getting an A+.
You're a CIO in 2022. So what's on the agenda? Threat briefings, IT meetings, and lots of coffee. With fully integrated security solutions all in one place. You're ready. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
With Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more.
Yeah, just like that breakfast burrito.
There isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce.
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Insurance.
Geico.
Hello, am I talking to myself here?
Hello. Break time?
Thanks, Mom. Look at this. Ooh.
Good food, good connections.
Love you, Mom.
One great meal. Come together with Swift.
Now, this is why you always stay with great action, especially when it's the opener of conference play. Akron with a huge response. 5 plays, 75 yards on the drive, and a huge 41-yard touchdown pass from DJ Irons to Alex Adams. His stats starting to mount here. A very, very proficient day now for DJ Irons, who's done it both on the ground and through the air. And now, back and forth they go here in the fourth. So Bowling Green about to get the football. And you just never know when you have a wild finish on your hands. I would not go anywhere. If you are tuned in from anywhere, whether you're in the state of Ohio or beyond, we could have an excellent finish to this game. Bowling Green, they pull it out, and they will take over the football. Stick with us. Bowling Green with it, and a 3-point lead.
Front yards have long reigned as the showpiece of the house. But just like a good mullet, we all know the party's in the back. Barbecue Guys is committed to helping create amazing backyard experiences. With the best grills in the game, outdoor essentials, and free design services for building your ultimate backyard. It's time to bring the front yard's reign to an end.
All right, boys, let's eat.
Stop on by barbecueguys.com.
You're a CIO in 2022. So what's on the agenda? Threat briefings, IT meetings, and lots of coffee. With fully integrated security solutions all in one place. You're ready. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
If you know, you know.
Crispy corners, sauce on top.
If you know, you know.
Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut, just $12.99. You are trouble. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This just in. A giant robot has landed downtown.
Hey, Craig.
Hey guys, this is just my workout stuff.
If you have a secret identity, you need to keep it secret. And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
You're still wearing your mask, dude.
For you, I wish many things. To see all the world can be. But most of all, I wish you'll never stop wishing.
Fall fun made easy. That's totally Target.
You said close your eyes, don't look down. Fall into me, and I'll catch you, darling. We'll dance in the street.
Well, obviously the story of this game, the two quarterbacks and Bowling Green's Matt McDonald, kind of a slower start than we're used to seeing from him, but he has certainly picked it up. The one interception notwithstanding, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, other than the one interception, he's been pretty good. His O-line has been protecting him. He only has gotten sacked one time since the first quarter. And ever since then, he's just been connecting with his receivers. He has 3 touchdowns. And he's been making great throws. And the one interception he does have is a tip throw, and that's because his receiver just didn't come down with it.
Yeah, ended a pretty impressive streak of passes without an interception. But all streaks made to be broken. He could start a new one. Meanwhile, this carry is going for huge yards. Jamal Johnson to start things off on this possession. He's out across midfield and out to the 46-yard line.
Juwan Johnson, he runs behind his big O-line, Mr. Wallslager and Warner, and they just allow a big gaping hole for him to run through. And that was a wonderful run for him to have a 25-yard gain.
Exactly how you want to start to drive off if you're Bowling Green. Broden is in motion to the far side. Play action on first. McDonald stepping up, looking and smartly throwing that ball out of bounds. Boy, Bowling Green aggressive, though, on this possession. We were talking off the air, is this going to be a situation where Leffler tries to sustain a lengthy drive, eat up some clock? They are going for it.
Yeah, I don't know if these coaches don't like each other, but Leffler want to make sure, hey, we're throwing the ball, we're getting some more touchdowns, because he just ran for 25 yards, and the next play, he's like, hey, I'm throwing a shot.
And this time, inside handoff. Johnson gets maybe 3.
The think back on it, just based off of the film that I've watched, is I know that a lot of teams like to do shot plays between the 40s. So we're in that type of situation. They had a 1st and goal between the 40s. That is shot territory for a lot of offenses and a lot of so I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they took that shot early in the drive.
Christian Sims in the slot on the near side. That's been a favorite target so far this season by McDonald on big plays, but he's looking the other way. He has to step up, avoid a defender, across his body. Ball is tipped at the last second. Nice defensive play by Nate Thompson. He left the field earlier to go to the locker room. Well, he was back to make a saving deflection there.
Yeah, Mr. McDonald broke outside the pocket, gets on the edge, throws a incredible ball, but Mr. Nate Thompson comes out of nowhere, and all he has to do is put his hands on it. He don't have to intercept it. He just has to get his hands on it, and you know what that does? It gives this Akron team another chance of getting the lead, so now their special teams are on the field.
We've had some very precarious special teams moments in this game. Returners unable to just catch the ball cleanly. This ball down inside the 2-yard line. Special teams looming large, but when we come back, the Zips with the ball, a chance to tie or take the lead. Action right here on ESPN.
Another busy day? Of course it is. You're a CIO in 2022. But you're covered with security that protects your company everywhere, on-premise, in the cloud, and right here too. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
If you want to ace your paper, download Grammarly. Grammarly helps you clean up messy, confusing sentences to get your point across clearly. Whoa. Good looks. Future me? No problem. Thank you. Thank you. What? Grammarly checks against billions of sites and catches any accidental plagiarism. Looks good to me. Submit it. By the way, you end up getting an A+.
It's been 4 years since Michael Myers killed my daughter. Vanished without a trace.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you? 'Cause he is coming.
Maybe the only way he can die is if I die too. It's your last Halloween, Michael.
Halloween ends. Rated R.
I'm the captain of the Pee Wee football team. We are
Mighty!
annoying. Go. Thanks, Mom. And if you have cut rate car insurance, then not even a Hail Mary will save you from paying for this. So get Allstate.
Bedtime?
I love bedtime.
The thin, sweet bite to end the night. Oreo Thins.
Peanut butter and jelly, smartphones and selfies, gas and electric. Perfect combinations. Honda Hybrids perfectly combine electric and gas engines for driving versatility, giving you up to 40 mpgs. See more about Honda Hybrids when you search your local Honda dealer today.
Who says you can't get everything you want? Like going for bold without going broke. And staying true to your taste while staying on budget. Who says rising costs means lowering the bar? Settling? No need. Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
So DJ Irons with that Akron Zip offense, do they have another drive in them? Nearing 300 yards of total offense on the day. Has made some huge plays here in the second half. But now, deep in their own territory, with 6:16 to go. They'll start it at their own 2. And this gives them some more breathing room with the handoff to Clyde Price. That gets them out to the 8-yard line. Nice play on first down.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that they get away from that goal line. So they do a nice run play. This is a good job by establishing the front by the O-line and just helping them get 5 yards so they can have a little bit of breathing room if they want to run, if they want to pass.
3 receivers to the near side. 2nd and 5. Irons. A draw all the way. And they were ready for it. He got to about the 11-yard line.
So Akron, they do a quarterback power pit, Nate Williams on the edge. And one thing about when you're pulling somebody, you want to get inside that puller because they're blocking them out. But DJ Irons wasn't able to get inside, and that's why that was a great tackle by Taylor.
Another run now, this time to the right side. And this is where having a 6'6 quarterback certainly comes into play.
Yeah, they just wanted to get this first down. All you have to do is get this first down. And Akron is 2 things in play right here. They're slowing down the clock, but then also trying to score at the same time.
Irons will step up, and he will throw it. Caught by Daniel George. Makes a man miss. And after the missed tackle, is out across the 25-yard line. Now they do have all 3 timeouts. They're at about the 4.5-minute mark, and a flag is thrown with the official, the side judge, running in.
It's a false start.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, first down.
A few times today, Nate Williams has been flagged. The excellent right tackle for the Zips, 6'6", 305, the sophomore. But that one is costly because the clock already running.
Yeah, so they lose time and they lose yards. That's something that you definitely don't want to have. You don't want to get into these long situations. You've gotten out of them multiple times before, but you just don't want to constantly put yourself in trouble.
Irons, pocket collapsing. Nowhere to go but down on the ground. A huge sack by the Falcon defense.
Falcons sent Brookhorn and Brooks on a blitz, and it's just so much pressure on DJ Irons. He can't even avoid right here. The whole game he's been able to find his way to avoid it, but that's what happens when you're going against the number 1 pass rush in the MAC, and right now is getting really difficult for Akron's offense.
So this drive started out promising, now taking way too much time. Irons trying to uncork one, but he's brought down again. Another sack by that Falcon defense. They are swarming.
Carl Brooks is all over the place, and he's not allowing DJ Irons to do anything that he wants. He steps up in the pocket. He's trying to find someone to throw it to, but Brooks is trailing him the whole play.
They need to get just past the 36-yard line. We're under 3 minutes in the final quarter. 3rd and 14. They rush 4. Irons able to get out of the pocket. He's going to continue to run, and he is past the first down marker. A huge 3rd down conversion, and they will move the sticks.
That was a wonderful play by DJ Irons, and that's what he's been doing all day. His legs have been allowing this offense to survive. That was a little bit longer than 3rd and 14. I know that's what they said on the screen, but that was longer than 3rd and 14, and that was just a phenomenal play by DJ Irons.
I mean, the Falcons didn't blitz. They knew the Irons had a chance, and he misplays the snap. Collects it and throws it out of bounds, avoiding all sorts of danger.
That one was scary for the Akron faithful over here. DJ Irons mishandled the snap, but that was a veteran play by him. He understands this is a tight game. I have to get this ball out of bounds. I can't just fall on it. And he does that, uses his legs to get out of the pocket and get him another chance.
Did you ever get a bounce like that where it comes right back to you?
Yeah, when on defense, some odd way, the ball always bounces away from me.
Well, very fortunate for the Zips that he lives to see another day. 2nd and 10. Irons down the field. He had his man TJ Banks, incomplete. Everyone looking for a flag, but looks like Anders and the Falcons played it clean.
Anders is in good position, put his hands up right between where the receiver would catch the ball, and that's a very questionable call. They could call pass interference for it, but he got there right when the ball touched the receiver's hands.
Boy,
and
bang on that. It depends on what colors you're wearing on how you want that called. 2:04 to go. The draw. And Irons spins to about the 43-yard line. Still needs to get to the 48 for a first down. 150. The clock continues to tick. They do have all 3 timeouts. Would you use one here on 4th and 6?
I would use a timeout here because just so my offense can make sure they have the right play in.
Instead, Scott Loeffler calls the timeout. We're sitting here wondering if Akron is going to call it. I don't know if Bowling Green really thought Akron was going to run that play, and so they're forced to make sure they have the right personnel on the field.
I understand where Bowling Green is coming from in this situation, making sure you have the right personnel to stop them on this 4th and short. But also, it questions me why Akron did not call a timeout, because you want to make sure that you have the perfect play call. So Bowling Green actually did a favor to Akron, but in my opinion, if I was Bowling Green, I would just try to pick the best play I can in and allow the clock to run out as much as it can.
So 1:38 on the clock. These are the moments you love in football, especially this conference. Fall weather, blankets out. I mean, they're dressed like it's winter. I wouldn't go that far. It is a little chilly. I'm seeing 60 degrees. I don't know if that's blanket weather.
Yeah, it's definitely colder than 60 degrees up here.
From the gun, 4th and 6, huge play. He has time, and it is incomplete. Sails over his receiver, Alex Adams. So they turn it over on downs. He had time to throw, and that one sailed away from him. He's been pretty accurate throughout the game, but not on that throw.
DJ Irons, he makes sure that he has the right play. They get in the right situation. But one thing that he has to do, he has to make sure that he actually completes the pass. And Coach Leffler does a good job of helping his defense out and making sure that they're in the right play.
Now the key is still for Akron when you're looking at the clock. You have all 3 timeouts. 1:33. But you certainly need a stop right here as you trail by 3 and Bowling Green will have the football.
So Akron, what you have to do in this situation, you have to force them to turn the ball over on downs, cause a turnover. But as Bowling Green, all you have to do in this situation is get a first down. If you get any type of first down in this situation, the game is over. Unless you get it on literally the first play of the drive. Any other situation, if you get a first down, this game is over.
All right, had an injury stoppage, but the Falcons not under center, still going from the shotgun. McDonald, the handoff. That is Patterson. Way too many yards given up on first down there by that zip defense. And that puts them in a bind because they have to use their first time out. Make that Jamal Johnson on the carry, but way too many yards. They give up 8.
The Zips, they want to make sure that they don't give up that many yards. And like I just said, you have to make sure that you force them to a 3 and out, force them to kick a field goal in this situation if their field goal kicker can make the field goal from this far. But you can't allow them to get the first down. That's why they have to start using these timeouts. And the only way that Bowling Green does a pass on this situation is if they're trying to throw them off. And I would be very surprised if we see the ball in the air right now.
Well, that would certainly be the Zips' best friend at this point. Still from the gun. McDonald, the inside handoff. Not a lot of room to run, but closing in on that yard to gain. Still short right now, according to where the officials are walking in. Akron calls timeout. That is their second. They still have one more, but about a yard will do it for this game and the outcome.
Bowling Green's been running the ball well all game, except when Akron knows they need to run the ball. So right now we're in a situation, it's 3rd and short. Every time Bowling Green has to run the ball on 3rd and short situations, 4th and short situations, Akron has stood up, and they need to stand up again right here. Last play, they was in an all-out blitz. I would be almost willing to guarantee that they're going to be in some type of run commit type of defense again to make sure that they force them from not being able to run around. And what do we see from Bowling Green? we see nothing but big guys in the game. Nothing but tight ends, nothing but linemen, and one running back.
3rd down and 1. Under center. Straight up handoff. And the pile to the left, did they move it enough? It'll all depend on the spot. What do you think?
The ref is waving them forward.
You got it. 30-second charge timeout, Akron. Their 3rd and final of the half.
Yeah, they've changed the markers. They gave him the first down, and that's the last time that the Zips can stop the clock, which pretty much means unless there is some sort of egregious error, the Falcons are going to get out of Dodge with a big road victory.
This is a huge road victory for the Falcons. They came in here the favorites for this game, and it was back and forth. Akron fought very hard, but they just had to make sure that they don't do anything right here in these last minute and 15 seconds to mess up this W.
Boy, 176 yards on the ground for that Bowling Green running attack. Head coach Scott Leffler talking this week about making sure to run the ball much better. They knew they were up against it on the road, some difficult circumstances. Head coach suffering from a blood clot that caused him to miss the first game of his lifetime at any level, which was so hard on him, but he said his guys competed. He didn't have his starting quarterback last week, pretty much noting that he wanted McDonald to get healthy and to have that clean slate once the MAC season got underway, which turns out to be a pretty good decision because the backup Cam Orth played well at times on the road at Mississippi State. So now he knows that he can trust his backup, and his starter, Matt McDonald, with all those starts under his belt, should be primed and ready for a huge, huge surge the rest of the way.
One thing about this Bowling Green team, they've gone through adversity. They understand what it's like to play big-time games and versus really tough crowds. And they came into this crowd, they came into this situation, understood the adversity they had last week and throughout the beginning of this first half of the season. And Coach Leffler said they have to treat every game like the Super Bowl. They have to prep like every game is the Super Bowl, and that's what they did today.
McDonald needs it, and they're going to have to do so. No, that'll do it. The final time as the coaches now walking onto the field to greet each other. What a tumultuous couple of weeks for head coach Scott Leffler. He said he's healthy. He's going to listen to his doctor going forward, and his team certainly listened to him as they showed a lot of fight. This one was close at times, but they held off the pesky Akron Zips, who they have to be proud of the way that they fought today as well.
Yeah, Akron definitely has to be proud of the way they fought because this game almost got away from Akron, and they fought all the way back, but still they didn't have the outcome that they wanted. At the end of the day, I would recommend everybody listen to your doctor. And this is a good win by the Bowling Green Falcons today.
Well, that'll do it here from Akron. 3-point ball game to wrap things up. We had a good one, and this is just the start of all the excitement coming your way in this conference. Next week, Akron will be down in Athens to take on Ohio University. Meanwhile, Bowling Green will host Buffalo, a huge battle there. For Ryan Shazier, the All-American, I'm Anthony Lima. We had so much fun bringing you football for the last 3+ hours. And don't forget, more MACtion right around the corner. So long from InfoCision Stadium here in Akron. Your final score, the Zips fall short. 31-28 Bowling Green, the victors here today.